So in the summer of 1966, July 2nd, 1966 to be specific, I turned 16. I had finally convinced my parents to let me take the family Chevy out on a date with a girl. And so I walked out the front door, and it was clear to me that I wasn't going anywhere because the car was blocked in by school buses that were parked bumper to bumper up and down my block. And then there were police officers coming off the school buses and forming up like platoons in front of my house and all the houses up and down the block in small squads, and they all turned right and quick time marched down to Marquette Park. That was the day that Martin Luther King was leading a civil rights demonstration in Marquette Park, and I saw a crowd of thousands of young thugs in khaki shirts with swastikas on their arms, leading them in chants of white power. That day changed my life. How did this happen? What is this? We're supposed to live in the greatest country in the world. We're supposed to live in a place where people accommodate each other and be kind to each other and support each other. And boy, that's not what was happening in the park that day. I became an anti-war organizer, and then I became a community organizer, and I learned how to stop bad things. And in this neighborhood, I became the executive director of a predecessor organization called the Southwest Community Congress, where we fought the banks and savings and loans who were redlining, and we fought the realtors who were blockbusting and panic peddling, causing neighborhood change for their own profit, driving the transformation from middle class to poor. And so, while I was at Southwest Community Congress, we tried something different, something that made my organizer colleagues from elsewhere around the city scratch their head when we started doing it. We organized something we called a task force. It was called the Chicago Southwest Potential Task Force. And we invited the same banks and savings and loans and some of the realtors who weren't terrible to come in with other community leaders from schools and churches and block clubs, etc., to begin to think about what a positive future could be. And it's actually out of that potential task force that came Greater Southwest Development Corporation. Our mantra was to keep the neighborhood viable for investment. Investment comes in all shapes, all sizes, all forms. The most basic form for us was the investment of the people who live in the neighborhood, the investment of the people who would want to live in the neighborhood but didn't live here yet. But being able to build a really strong organization that withstands the test of time and is attractive to really good people like Adrian Soto and Guion Foreman and the staff that works here, I think that's one of the things that I'm most proud of. To be a really strong organization that could attract the best of the best, to be able to want to invest their time, invest their career in making this neighborhood work.